He also wrote this: "I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes."
He did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. He ran 45 yards, they say, and he just went to it, and then, boom, he popped through it. I mean, he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up.
I want to hop into a Trump interview with some pretty hilarious and equally shocking moments. So leave us a like on the video. It helps us out a ton. Subscribe if you've yet to. We're chasing 30,000 subscribers, and we'll get right down to the breakdown.
Also at the dinner last night was your secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
His sister, Carrie Kennedy, was there. They've both witnessed their father and their uncle be assassinated.
That's right.
Erica Kirk was there. The House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, was there.
Yeah.
Political violence has touched so many people in that room. Is there something that you as president can do? What can be done to change the trajectory?
Well, you go back 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. It's always been there. People are assassinated. People are injured, people are hurt, and I'm not sure that it's any more now than there was. I do think that the hate speech of the Democrats, much more so, is very dangerous. I really think it's very dangerous for the country.
It's weird because to me, hate speech is when you say something like, I don't know, all Somalis have low IQ, right? Or when you say immigrants from predominantly brown populated countries come from shitholes. Or when you tell 4 ethnic congresswomen, who are obviously American, to go back to their country. These are what I find to be instances of hate speech, not when you do something, I don't know, fascistic and get called a fascist. Or you pass a bigoted policy, say bigoted words, and then get called a bigot. I call that being held accountable. People don't have to say nice things about you. I would actually go as far to say our only obligation is to say accurate things about people. And when you do so much bad to the world and the only good things you do exist for those in the Epstein class, well, clearly you're gonna get talked about the way you do. This is an adjudicated rapist. It's a 34-count felon. Let's not mince our words. What are we supposed to say about him?
He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, "Administration officials, they are targets." And he also wrote this: "I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes." What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that.
Except there's this, which is just so inconvenient to the narrative he wants to put forward. But the, "Oh, you think he was talking about you," is so perfect. It even stops Trump in his tracks. He does get really defensive after, where again, at some point, you just have to accept reality, right? Everyone is not forced to give in to your delusions. Trump raped E. Jean Carroll. He was found unanimously in court to have done so, and he has dozens of other allegations against him. He is objectively a rapist. It's not like he has some free pass to that because he denies it as much as MAGA wants him to. And I also think there's credible reasons to think he's a PDF file, from walking in the changing room of teen beauty pageants to lewd comments towards children to allegations against him by numerous minors to the Epstein affiliation, the covering up of the Epstein files. Once again, nobody has to buy into these MAGA delusions that this only happens because there's a grand conspiracy against Trump. So stop pretending we do.
Do you think this will change your relationship with the press?
Well, look, for whatever reason, we disagree on a lot of subjects. We talk about crime. I'm very strong on crime. It seems like the press isn't. It's not so much the press, it's the press plus the Democrats, because they're almost one and the same. It's like the craziest thing. I have the strongest border we've ever had in the country, where, as you know, it said 0 people for 9 months came into our country through our southern border. We have a very tough.
I think the idea that Democrats and the media are one and the same has never been more shattered than during the end of Biden's presidency, where all mainstream media ran Biden dementia for weeks, of course, with no doctor diagnosis, no official reason to believe this. So even if, like, let's say they're one and the same and it was true, well, it's the easiest thing to just not do wall-to-wall coverage on, right? The problem is that Trump creates more moments for media, like being a 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist. He's so tough on crime that he pardoned 1,500 violent criminals, some who beat cops and then that later died, and he's now trying to have convictions cleared for those who were charged with planning the entire thing, including wanting to take Congress members hostage, storming the Supreme Court, and more, because he's pro-law and tough on crime. And that's why the media covers him, because he does things like this and he's hypocritical to his own words. The only reason these people hate the media is because they refuse to buy into their delusions and run them as serious fact, because they're almost always baseless. And that infuriates MAGA, who wants to be taken so serious so desperately, but they don't want to do the work to be taken serious.
You can see the gunman running through the metal detectors, and he fired off 1 or 2 rounds.
His speed was rather incredible. Actually, he was like a blur.
How did he get that close with the place swarming with security?
I will say, look, I say it because I'm a big fan of the people of law enforcement. And, you know, some of these people, they may be crazy, but they're not stupid, and they figure things out. He ran 45 yards, they say, and he just went to it, and then, boom, he popped through it. I mean, he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
Kind of a psychotic response. Now, obviously, it is an amazing thing. They managed to stop this lunatic before anyone was hurt. Hats off to the Secret Service agent who was shot, but in the vest, so he's fine. But we do have to call a spade, am I right? It's a security failure. It's really a policy failure. The fact that this lunatic could not just get a gun, but carry it across state lines, have it in DC where open carry isn't allowed is a problem enough, but he was also able to get through security with it. None of them reacted until he was passed, which again, good on them for reacting quickly, but they seemed lackadaisical and they're kind of lucky this man didn't have a more well thought out plan, because it seemed they weren't ready for it. So like, if Trump wants them to keep going, then good on them. But like, I just think we should be able to admit shortcomings at some point. Like, I don't know. It just seems no matter what happens, where Trump is going to say, we did the best that anyone ever could have.